Good morning, friends. I feel immense pleasure to be here for my course, Project-Based Learning. I am Dr. Dwivedhi, Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad, India. In the process of Project-Based Learning, I am here for my 5th lecture, and in my 4th lecture, I have started the steps of Project-Based Learning. In that, I have completed some part of that. So here I am for the second part of the steps for the project-based learning. In this, I will be discussing about introduction and the revision of previous class, then problem analysis, problem-based inquiry, designing learning environment, learning goals, self-study, and the reporting of the project, how to report and all. This thing I am going to discuss. So I will go for a small introduction. In this project-based learning, it is innovative model for the learning. In this, PBL is the innovative method for student learning to find solution for the real world problem by interaction, by doing the work. So in this project-based learning, we have to make sure that students are taking part, they are initiating, and they are able to find out the real world problem, and they are also able to get the solution by their own. Students feel very happy and they will feel encouraged that yes, they can do something and which can be used for the society. If you see one quote from our Lord Gautam Buddha, so an idea that is developed and put into action is more important than idea that exists only an idea. So whatever, everyone has got some idea, and this idea has to be put in action. It should be used. Somewhere you use your idea, and if it is useful, it is good. But if you are only having idea and not making in action, there is no use of such type of idea. Idea should be put in the action, and this action should be visible, and it should give some fruit. It should give some result, good result. Then only that idea is useful. So this is by the Gautam Buddha. If you see the learning outcomes, how the level of outcomes are there and how this can be divided for the different learning cognizant levels. We can divide this learning levels into 6 groups. First one is the remembering, then understanding, then applying, then analyzing, then evaluating, and the last is the creating. So the aim of any education has to reach in this peak. So from the school onwards, we start remembering. If you go to the college, we start in higher schools like intermediate and all, you start understanding. If you go to the engineering, you start applying in your graduate level or undergraduate, then apply and analyze. And if you go the master's level, you start evaluating and start creating. So if you reach to the creating level, means you are really understanding the education. But now you should not wait for the masters and the PhD. The students from the lower level, from LKG, UKG, primary, middle, higher school, this level, they should start progressing. Not only the remembering, they should also go for applying and analyzing some higher level. So if you see about the remembering, it is recalling relevant knowledge from the long-term memory. So whatever they have learned or whatever they have, they can reproduce in the same way as it is written in the book. It is called the remembering. Understanding means making sense of the material you have learned. So whatever you have remembered, whether you are able to make it sense, can you make this bookish language into your own language and explain in your different ways. Applying, use the knowledge gained in the new ways. So if you are you got the knowledge from the remembering and understanding, whether you can use it in the new way or not. Then analyzing, breaking the concept into the parts and understand how each part is related to one another. So if anything, you made something, you divide it into the part and how this each part will make things as a full. So that is the meaning of analyzing. Evaluating is making judgment based on a set of guidelines. So in this, you should make some judgment based on the set of the guidelines. Then putting information together in an innovative way. So creating means putting information together in an innovative way. So anything, it may be the product, it may be some information, it may be some data structure or anything. It should be some innovative way. If you can make it or you can arrange it, which can be used very easily, then you can say that you have created the product. Now in this, steps for the project-based learning accomplishment. So I have discussed in my previous class that we have the 7 steps. In that, first one is the clarify the terms, define the problems, then brainstorming. These 3 I have already discussed in my previous class. I will go very little on this and then I will go further. So clarify the terms, define problem, brainstorming, problem analysis, learning goals, self-study, and the reporting. These are the 7 steps for any typical project-based learning and how we can accomplish in a class of students. By this, following this step, if you go, it will be easy to accomplish the project-based learning task. First, I will go for the clarify the terms in the project-based learning. In this, read and understand the problem. First thing is, many times you have to read and understand each and every words of the problem. Then, if you understand the problem by different types of literatures, from books, from articles, from newspaper, or from the internet, or from anything, then you start watching some videos related to that problem. And you see that how the people have solved the problem. You see some number of videos, but it should be authentic videos. Because if you see in the YouTube and some other online resources, sometimes you may get the fake videos. They will say that it is happening like this, but when you do, it will not happen at all. So it should be a theory-based or the authentic videos from some research organization or some professors and some good people. Then only you should watch those videos. Then you describe the problem. After understanding and reading the problem, then watching the authentic videos, then you start describing your problem, how this problem can be broken in different elements. Then you start group discussing on problem in a class. Then in a class, your group or there are a number of other groups. You all have to discuss in a class and then there should be a question answer and then you will get some real clarity on the PBL each and every terms. So first step is clarify the terms in PBL. Next is very important, and as you might have heard about the Professor Einstein, he has explained that describing or defining problem takes 90% of the time, but the solution take only 10% of the time. So defining the problem is one of the most time consuming. A lot of time it is, he told like that, out of 60 minutes, 55 minutes are used for defining the problem and only 5 minutes for solving the problem. Okay, so in this way, we have to take a lot of time and we should be very specific for the defining the problem. So find out the phenomenon related to the problem. Then next step is investigate the problem. Investigate the key element of the problem. You have to find out small elements, then you join them and make it a problem. List the questions related to the problem. So these are the steps in defining the problem, and you should take a lot of study, you should do some research so that you can find out the correct definition of your problem. Now, next step in the out of 7 is the brainstorming session. And if you see the brainstorming session, in this there are 3 types of brainstorming session. One is the guided group brainstorming session, then nominal group technique, and group passing technique. So in the guided group brainstorming means you have to, as per the guidance, people have to talk, they have to discuss, they will get number of answers, find the correct answers, and then you make it and choose one, and in that again you discuss like this. It is called the guided group brainstorming. I have discussed in detail in my previous lecture. Nominal group technique. In this, groups are formed. They are told to study the topic and then they will discuss in a group. In each group, they will find the solution, and there are a number of groups in a class. Then each group will give their solution. Then again brainstorming and discussion will going on, and after that they will find out 1 or 2 solution. In that, the best solution has to be accepted. In this, third one is the group passing techniques. In this, there is one person, and assume there are some 6 or 7 in a group. So problem will be given by this leader and it will pass this. Everyone will have one paper and everyone will write the first solution, and then they will pass to each other and everyone will write their own solution. So here you will get the 6th solution. So the as and when you will get your slip again back, it means your things are completed. And I think you will get in your slip some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 solution including yourself. So this 5 extra solution you have got, and in this again all the 6 solution will be discussed, and everyone will give the pros and cons of the system, and then they will find out the best solution. Of the best solution of the problem, they have to find out and then they have to accept it. So these are the 3 basic brainstorming techniques. So up to here I have completed in my lecture number 4th, and here onwards it is the step number 4, problem analysis. So you have find the problem, you have to define the problem, you have done the brainstorming session. In the brainstorming session, you got some answer or some solution for the problem. Now you have to do the analysis, that what type of answer you got, whether it is matching with the theory, whether you are able to do some work or not. So in this case, if you see that project analysis means work done before the legislative appropriation for a project to develop a reliable estimate of the cost of the project to be used in the appropriation request. So this you have to discuss that how much is the cost, how much is result, whether it is useful or not. All these things analysis you have to undertake. So stages of the project analysis. So first one is the project identification, then project formulation, market and demand analysis, technical analysis, economical and the financial analysis, and next is the last is the social cost benefit analysis. So these things you have to understand each and every one. So this is the analysis part. So in this stage, the first one is project identification. So we have to identify that what type of project we want to do, or what is it is useful, and all the issues, problems, its element, all the things we have to identify. Then project formulation. After that, you formulate, you make it how it will go, how we have to perform, what are the usefulness, what are the drawback, how it will be implemented. All these questions has to be answered in this project formulation. Then market and the demand analysis. So whatever project you are doing, whether it is demanded in the market, whether the market want it, or any other product is available in the market, what is the price and what is its features, its drawback, everything you have to understand, and then you do the market and the demand analysis. Then you have to go for the technical analysis. In technical analysis, you have to see its performance, its power consumption, its look, its appearance, its sound level. All these technical issues has to be understood very much carefully. Economical and financial analysis. After that, if it is technical analysis is performed, market and demand analysis is done, this all above 4 items are done, then you have to do economic and the financial analysis. How much expenditure, how much to set up this industry, how much money is required, how much finances are to be procured from where, all the things we have to undertake. Then social cost and the benefit analysis. So how much cost it is coming per product, and how much you are able to sell to the people, and how much it is affecting to the society. Society means if any pollution is there, or any some problem which is it is generating for the community and the people of the country and the area, that also we have to understand. In this way, we undertake the problem analysis for the any project. Now, next step is project-based inquiry. So for analysis, we have to undertake project-based inquiry. So in this, we can do that. Problem-based inquiry is an effort to challenge student to address real-world problem and resolve realistic dilemmas. So what we have to do is, problem-based inquiry is an effort to challenge students to address real-world problem. So you have to do the inquiry to find out the real-world problem and resolve realistically dilemmas. So if any dilemmas are there, that has to be solved, that is to be resolved by this inquiry based system. So in this, opportunities for meaningful activities. So by doing these questions, what we get? We get the opportunities for meaningful activities. Activities which we conduct, it should give some fruit, some result, meaningful, it should be there, not just like that. It should be properly designed, properly guided way, opportunities and meaningful activities to be done. Engage student in problem solving and higher order thinking. You design your inquiry in such a way that students should start the higher order thinking. Just now I have told, it is like a triangle. So at the last is remember, then understand, then apply, then analyze, then evaluate, and last are the create. So the students should go up and up by this type of inquiry based discussion. It should be relevant to student lives or interest. It should not be vague. It should be related. Students should be aware about that, and they should also feel that yes, this type of problems are existing in my surrounding. So if I do, somebody will be helpful. So it should be relevant to the student, not just like that. I am giving here one example and how we can make it a very interesting, and how we can make it relevance, and how we can make it as a meaningful, or how we can make that students are engaged in the problem. A very simple mathematical problem which is given, which normally we all know. So here two trains leave different stations headed towards each other. Station A is 500 miles west of station B. Train A leaves station A at 12 p.m. traveling towards station B at a rate of 60 miles per hour. Train B leaves station at 2:30 p.m. for station A at a rate of 45 miles per hour. At what time train will meet? Very simple. Everyone, if you put like this problem, students will not feel good. They will feel, what is there in this? So many problems are there existing in books, and I am not involved. Okay, let the train go. What I have to do in that? So like this, it is a typical conventional type of teaching. But how we can make the same problem, which is here, example I have given, can we make it somewhat more interesting? Can we make it with the student relevance? How we can make that students are engaged in this problem, whether it is meaningful or not? As of now, all students will feel that this is work, this is so many things existing, I am not interested in this. It is not concerned with me or the students. So how we can make it? So in this type of question, student will respond, who cares? Who knows? Why I need to know? This may cause nightmare. So we need to give some more interesting, realistic problem. So what we can do in this? We can make it, trains are not in fact traveling at a constant rate. So here we have to make some alteration in this problem so that student will take the interest. So what you can make it? Trains are not in fact traveling at a constant rate. Cars are changing track at high speed. So we can put some problem. So if the tracks are not straight, they are in the curve and they are changing the track. So what will happen? So like this we can increase. The situation should involve a meaningful. So how we can make it? The same problem we can enhance by giving such type of questions that trains are not in a constant speed, they have accelerating or deaccelerating due to the change of the track, due to the change of the curvature, they are changing its way, one train is stopping and so, there may be some accident in between, or okay, like this some event you can regenerate. So here further enhancing question level. So we have to enhance the level of the question. It is very much essential that whatever question you ask in the question in your examination, question should not be like this. What is this? What is Newton's law? And define the Newton's law. Like this, it should not be. There should be some meaningful scenario we have to generate, and then we have to ask. So, suppose that a person intend to catch a connecting train at the second station and requires a time efficient itinerary in this previous. So, suppose that after 50 miles there is a station and one person want to board. So, what he has to do? Like this, we have to generate some new things. What if we are not given data about the trends, but instead the outcome of a particular event, such as an accident? So if we give that, if something happened and it is very high speed and some accident happened, what you will do? Like this, we can ask, we can give some questions in this. So here I am giving a comparison of problem-based and traditional learning. So a problem-based learning and the traditional, which normally, especially in India, we follow the, most of the places we follow the traditional learning. Only in the classroom learning, it is not advisable. So what are the comparison? So here I have two slides, two side by side. The left side is problem-based inquiry and the right side is traditional teaching method. So in this problem-based inquiry, students are presented with application and perform analysis before they understand the context. So in this, what happened? The students are presented with application and perform analysis before they understand the context. So they have to see that what is the application which I am teaching in the class, and also how we can do the performance analysis before we go for understanding of the context. If you see the traditional teaching, students learn about information before understanding how it might be useful. So it is in the reverse order of this one. So first they have to understand and then they have to apply it. All knowledge and skills are directly relevant to context. In this, if you see the traditional base, incorporate basic knowledge and skills that may never be applied. Sometimes we are teaching so many things, but if you see that these things are never applied on the any of his future career. Participation is crucial in learning. In this problem based, everyone has to participate actively. In this, knowledge exists independent of the student. It is not dependent upon the student. It is independent of the students. Now here, definitive answers do not exist outside student's knowledge and experience, but is constructed through her prior knowledge, values, belief, and the perspective. So in this, the definitive knowledge do not exist, and the student which know they have some values, belief, in that only they will work. Learning strategies are general without structured approach. So in this, there is no structured approach. It is general in nature. Learning is structured and guided step by step. So in this, every step your teacher will guide, but here you have to do yourself and guidance may be reduced. So these are the comparison between a problem-based learning and the traditional or conventional learning. Now, designing learning environment. So this we can see here how this learning environmental are designed. So if you see here that here is they are the students here, and they have to find out the real world problem. And in this world, there may be so many problems, like somewhere diseases are there, somewhere some in roads some accidents are happening, or somewhere if you see traffic is very high, or some other any issues, your polythene issues, lot of pollution in this area, people are not cooperating. So many things are there. So real world problems. After that, we have to see that these students should first find out some real world problem, and then situated context. At what context they are able to, these problems are related. Then they have to go for a critical thinking. So in this, the critical thinking level is increased. Then they have to go for formulate idea and develop reasoning skill. So after this critical thinking, they have to formulate ideas and develop reasoning skills. So after critical thinking, they have to find out the reasoning skills. So here if you see resources and the cooperation. So in the problem-based learning, you need the resources and the cooperation. So in this, if you see, what are the resources and the cooperation? Situated cognition, then constructivism, social learning, and community of practice. These are the people from where you have to communicate, you have to give your message to these all areas. Now, problem generation. So how you can generate the problem? So this you can see that the problem must address concept and the principles relevant to the content domain. Problems are not investigated by students solely for the problem solving experiences, but as means of understanding the subject areas. Incorporate multidisciplinary approaches. The problem must relate to real issues that are present in the society or the student lives. So we should have the problem in such a way that either they should be directly related to the student, or this is also related to the student where they are residing, their society and their locality, and how they are facing the problem. Your problem generation should be multidisciplinary approach, not only this where you are working. It should be beyond that. And understanding the subject area of these things are also very much essential. So it is called the problem generation. Now, problem presentation, how the problem should be presented. Student must own the problem either by creating or selecting it. That is very much important, that all the students should own, they should feel that this is my own problem. I know this problem and I have to solve so that people will be getting the benefit of this solution, either by creating or selecting itself. Either they should create or the select of the given topics they can do as they feel comfortable. Their contribution affect the outcome of solving the problem. So if they feel that, okay, this is my problem, their contribution affect the outcome of the solving problem. So they have to contribute that, yes, I am going to solve this problem. And if they are able to solve the problem, they will feel very happy and they will feel very confident that, yes, I can solve some of the problem of the society. More than one solution and more than one method of achieving a solution to the problem are often possible. Sometimes if you give one problem to 2 or 3 batches, all the 2 or 3 will have different solution. So that is also a very good idea, that number of solution and which one is the best as per the environment, as per the cost. These all things issue, you have to make it and get the best out of that. Ownership means that students take responsibility for representing and communicating their work in a unique way. So if in the first line, if you see own, student must own. So if they own this, it means the students take the responsibility for presenting and communicating their work in a unique way. So they can present to the faculty, to the expo, to the online, they can upload their work on YouTube, and so many things they will do. So because they feel pride that, yeah, I have done this thing and it is really wonderful and it will solve the problem of some of the people in the world. So this gives a very good loyalty, and as they own that this is my problem which I have solved the problem, they will feel very confident on that. Now I am going to discuss about role of the teacher in project-based learning. So till now it was student-centric, but what is the role of teacher or the faculty for the development of the project-based learning? So in this, teachers act primarily as cognitive coaches by facilitating learning and modeling higher order thinking and meta cognitive skill. So here the faculties are acting as a coach. You might have seen the cricket coach, hockey coach, football coach and all. They are not playing in the field, but their guidance is required. They will observe from outside who is doing mistake and who is doing the best. Accordingly, they will replace as and when required, and they will also guide. So in this project-based learning, the primary role of teacher is to be as a cognitive coaches. It means the coach which increase your skill level. Cognitive skills are increased by its guidance. That is the first role. The second role is as facilitator. Teacher give student control over how they learn and provide support and structure in the direction of their learning. So as a facilitator, teacher will give the control over how they have to learn, how they have to support, and these all things the teachers has to provide. Next, they help the class create a common framework of expectations using tools such as general guidelines and timelines. Teacher also has to give a common framework that in these many days, these many hours you have to do, and also they will use that which tool you have to use to make in a given time. So a cognitive modeler, teachers, so as a cognitive modelers also means your skill level and your knowledge level. Teachers think aloud about strategies and questions that influence how students manage the progress of their learning and accomplish a group task. So this is also as a modeler, cognitive modeler, teacher will find out the strategies and the questions that influence how students manage the progress of their learning and accomplish a group task. So they have to perform the group task. This is also a job of the teacher, and it is called the cognitive modeler. Teachers continually questions students about the concepts they are learning. They will ask what you are learning, or what you are doing. So what type of level they are attaining in the context of the problem in order to probe their understanding, challenge their thinking, and help them deepen or extend their ideas. Now, what is the role of student in PBL? We have just now discussed about the role of the teacher. So in this role of the teacher, if you see, they are like a cognitive coaches, as a facilitator, as a cognitive modeler, these all are the role of the teacher. But now what is the role of student? Students first define or select an ill-structured problem that has no obvious solution. So students, they are very raw, so they don't know anything. So first define or select ill-structured problem, a rough problem they have to structure. They develop alternative hypothesis to resolve the problem and discuss and negotiate their conjecture in a group. So in a group they have to develop a hypothesis to resolve the problem and discuss and negotiate their conjecture in a group. So they will learn how to behave in a group, how to make that their words are correct. Access, evaluate and utilize data from variety of available resources to support or refute their hypothesis. So they have to find out they have to access, they have to evaluate and utilize the available data from available sources. It may be from the paper, from newspaper, from books, from articles, from anything. They have to find out, but these things should be authenticated. Your data access should be authenticated access. Students may alter, develop or synthesize hypotheses in light of new information. They develop clearly stated solution that fit the problem and its inherent conditions based upon information and reasoning to support their argument. Solution can be form of essay, presentation, or projects. So it doesn't mean that they have to make some product. They can make some essay on particular topic like pollution, river pollution, or some about some ecological issues like presence of some animal or erosion of soil or something. They can write essay. They can also do the presentation in a very nice way, or they can put a project so that their knowledge can be accessed. Next is the learning goals of a high quality project based learning. So what are the learning goals of a high quality project based learning? So goals we have to understand before we start. The goals of a high quality project based learnings are to teach academic content, knowledge and skills and develop deeper understanding. So we have to teach them content, knowledge and skills and develop deeper understanding of for the students. Build 21st century success skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration and creativity, innovation. These are the modern skills. So students have to understand these skills. Help a student become aware of their own academic, personal and the social development. So you should make sure that they should be aware about their academic, personal and the social development. Help a student gain confidence for meet new challenges in school and life. So students should be able to gain confidence by school life. Next is the self-study methods. So what are the methods by which students should do study by their own? So that is called the self-study. Set realistic goals. Setting work goals realistically at your life. Assign certain number of chapters to read. Set schedule is in any given week and giving yourself a mental break each week to let your mind rest. So give some days that in these days you have to complete, but you have to give some rest also. Just you don't start full day, night and all. So you have to fix a schedule. Find what works for you. So in this self-study, you have to see that how for you it is good. Techniques to find what works for your brain. Some students find reading aloud helpful. Other like taking handwritten notes rather than typing. So everyone has got different approach. So you have to find which one is the best for you. Review material the same day you learn it. So whatever you have learned, you have to review it. You have to again by your own brain you just see okay what you have studied. Make sure you review all the new materials. Reviewing can help with long-term absorption of material. So it decreases the need for cramming in the future. Study in short and frequent sessions. You should not go long, continue reading for 4 hours. It is not required. Go for half an hour and the 1 hour and then you review it. Break up your material by topic into a series of sessions. Studying in short, frequent session is a more effective way of learning subject matter and self-study. Prepare and maintain your study environment. Your environment also should be good. Create a study space for yourself. Be mentally prepared to learn when you enter that space. So you make one space in a room in your house and when you enter in that you feel that yes, I have come here to learn. Then only you will feel enjoyment and you will try to do the best. Next is the report writing in project based learning. So After that, last one is the report writing. So we have to write what we have done in the project, that we should be able to write, then only it will be good. The PBL write-up is a reflexive piece answering the questions. What did I learn about myself as a group member in this project-based learning? Trainees will be required to draw on psychological theory to support their reflection. This will address epistemology, positioning theory, social learning theory, intersectionality and the social graces, as well as suggested way to work well in project-based learning, such as using breakout rooms, assigning roles, etc. So the writing is very, very important. Whatever you have learned, whatever questions, so you write the questions, you frame the sentences, you go introduction, abstract, introduction, then methodology, all the things you start writing, and this will be very good to understand the theories behind that, intersectionality, different peoples, and these all things you will learn by this. So in this next class, I am going to discuss about introduction, level of knowledge, three-dimensional education, meaning of beautiful work, a case study of students' development, project amphibian survey and the design a tunnel for salamander. This I am going to discuss, and it will be really very interesting, and you will see that how the student can do wonderful. And this a very small kits they have done. So we here as engineering students, we can perform excellent work and we can do a lot of things in the future. These are the references which I have taken. Any questions you are welcome to ask. It will be pleasure to reply. And my email, as you know, that Dwivedhi@gmail.com. Okay, this is my email. You are welcome to go in this and ask any query. Thank you very much, and be tuned for my next lecture. Please do like and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.